It is a 100% shame that this game never came to the States. I'm also going to talk later about how I think this game might have almost come to the States, but it might have been turned down by Ukes or Sony because of, you know, reasons. Anyway, mind blown up. Can't really sleep in there now. Also, yeah, you never get the run-in from Casca. Again, because Casca's already following us. So, weird you don't admit that. But it's the one take that long to animate, but whatever. You won't see it in this game. You won't see it in really in the anime either. Well. Except your dream is now also embroiled in the schemings and machinations of the God Hand, so your dream isn't 100% your own anymore. But you know what? It's fine. Whatever. Details. So that happens. It's nothing. You only just fought the man that both killed thousands of your comrades and raped your girlfriend in front of your eyes. Yeah, just nothing to see here. Puck already knows what the fuck already happened to. He's been in his mind several times. Oh yeah, Ricker's not here either to really drive this point home. Again, this game tells the story a lot more condensed. I don't hate it for that because I understand fully, but it's a shame that we're omitting some stuff. Well, anyway, moving on. You know, oh yeah, the ghosts. Ghosts and dogs. You probably recognize these dogs from, you know, Farnese having a fun time with Guts, you know, details. As well as the ghosts to a lesser extent. They're really easy to kill, one-shots. Just try to play this generally crowd control with Guts. Heal when you need to because Puck is your best friend for life. As he should be. And yeah. I guess I will say I do kind of miss the novelty of Guts being played, Puck being played by fucking Liquid Snake, because that was the funniest thing ever. It's not over, Guts! God, the jokes I could have made with that, but I couldn't because it was so cutscene ridden. Also, yeah, one cool thing is you have a combo counter of sorts. The more enemies you kill, the higher it goes. You don't lose immediately if you get hit. It's not like Devil May Cry or anything. An important thing is that it's a multiplier for your XP too. Every 10 you go, I think it also increases your multiplier count for the XP you get. So if you want to just sit in and just wail enemies for I don't know, 10 minutes, you'll get some pretty fucking good numbers for that, generally speaking. Still going. But yeah, the more you can one-shot enemies, the better off you'll be. Apparently, on repeat playthroughs of levels, you won't... the enemies are finite, though, and I don't get that. Maybe it's to, disincentivize, endless grinding of easier enemies. That's the only thing I can possibly think of. I mean, not like the trolls are any harder, really. I mean, they're only slightly less unresponsive, so, Anyway, yeah. Generally, if you don't want to deal with them, you just run straight, and that's the end of that. I guess with this time on my hands, I can talk about my thoughts about some stuff. In accordance with how I'm doing these games, I've also now read the manga from... Well, first of all, I did two things. I reread... Or no, not reread, what the hell am I talking about? I rewatched the Berserk Season 2 anime, 2017, which was the whole Sword of Hills all the way up to the Berserker armor, and almost getting to the boat, but not quite. And I read from... Where was my first stopping off point? When Farnese joined, up to... Well, the actual stopping point for that is actually, volume 27, where the shit with Ganishka is starting. If I can... Now that I've gone far enough in the series, again, this is my first time reading the Berserk manga because I've never had reason to do it before, and it's super long, so... Yeah, that's kind of part of the reason why. But now that I'm this far, I think I can start ranking, how I think of the arcs. I'm gonna upset some people. Golden Age arc is not number one. I know. Despite all of the symbolism, all of the philosophy, the backstabbing, the characterization, all that stuff, I think the Black Swordsman arc is just a little bit better. And most of the reason for that is because it feels like it takes actual ages for the Golden Age arc to start. I mean, it's still good, but it's not great. Black Swordsman arc just feels like it's a war crime it's never been animated, because fucking hell, the slug count is amazing of an arc to read. So is the Misty Valley. God damn. Feels so bad for, what was her name? Rachel? Karen? It was something. I don't remember her name. Hannah? What? Yeah, whatever. I don't remember the little girl's name, but it's a crime that she's never been animated in any sort of format. As well as having her entire arc crushed into the first episode of Berserk Season 1. Ugh, that's rough. But no, my favorite arc is Black Swordsman. Second favorite, Golden Age. Third favorite, Tower of Conviction / Conviction arc. I feel like the Conviction arc is okay, but it's not like anything I'd write home about. And like, it definitely, it's not really interesting until Guts actually shows up. I mean, yeah, it's always good to have like criticism of the Catholic Church and everything, but that's like, kinda, you already have shit like that in Hellsing, so I don't know. Maybe I'm not too impressed by that, but it is also interesting seeing how like the God Hand has manipulated like the Holy Church in that in the series. That's just how I see it. Black Swordsman arc is still fantastic. From the Snake King dude, you know, Snake Count, Slug Count, Misty Valley, yeah, all of it's really good. If you ever read anything, I recommend reading Misty Valley, because that is a fucking trip and a half. God damn. I don't know, I'm being tailored very hard right now. If you want a fun thing, turning around really fast when you're being pursued by enemies and just using like a full volley of the crossbow. Well, I guess if we have time for it, I can just illustrate my points up ahead, actually. Let's do it like right here. So, I'm gonna go down each of the sub-weapons roughly. So, Arm Cannon is, of course, a one-shot, super powerful, really cool, takes the longest recharge. It's your ace in the hole. It is 100% your ace in the hole. From there, you have crossbows on L1 square. Crossbows, why I say it plural. It's actually way better than it was in Berserk Dreamcast, because it functions a lot more like Dante's guns. You can change the direction of it. It's really handy. It can one-shot a lot of weaker enemies. It does good damage by itself. Honestly, like, this move is what it should have been. This is really good. Honestly, I would probably say it's better than Dante's Ebony and Ivory. It's just that good. Like, fucking hell, it actually does its job now, and it actually can kill enemies. So that's really good. From there, you have the daggers. The daggers are good for, like, disruption / long-range poking if you want to just, like, get an advantage against some enemies. It's something critical. There's a reason it has the lowest recharge time. It's okay. I mean, when you fully upgrade, you toss out like 5 at once. That's kind of cool, but I wouldn't put too much stock into it. Otherwise, it's a cheap upgrade. I would rather have it and not need it. And from there, you have bombs. Bombs are also really good. Second longest recharge time, but they're pretty manageable. One shots, good stuff. Pretty good damage against bosses, depending on who you're fighting. Nothing too substantial, but considering that it's another one-shot you have in your arsenal, I will take it. It's honestly pretty good. Also, yeah, upgrade your recharge time for your arm cannon whenever you can, because this is so good. And with that, they're pretty well talked about now. Nice. We'll talk about the other guys when we get them. The assists, I guess we can call them. They have a name. I forget what the hell it is offhand, but that's roughly what it is. Okay. So with that, let's move on. Was I talking about something else? Oh yeah, let's talk about the arcs. Damn, where the hell was I going with that actually? So season 2 is okay. I'm gonna be honest here and say that upon recently rewatching the anime season 1, 2, the ones done by the studio that did TQ, I don't get that. That's weird. I can say that they're not as bad as everyone says, but they're also not objectively good. Sorry, I have to keep pausing to illustrate my points because this game is a little exciting sometimes. Right, the music's good. The sound effects actually are pretty good across the board for like, especially the Dragon Slayer with like sound like a fucking like giant sheet of metal. It's great. The big issues I think are just in like the choreography and like the animation itself. Like those are literally the only hindrances. Like to me, the cast is great. The storytelling is so good. Yeah. So what's going on here? Oh, isn't this the introduction of the Spriggans? It is. Hey. Yeah, they're on a cutscene to be introduced with. Hell yeah. God, they're ugly fuckers. Yes, this is an original thing. These were not talked about at all in the manga. Game exclusive. This game also does more game exclusive stuff. Oh yeah, I could talk about that more. They are. Just keep an eye for the size of the road. Sometimes run into one. I'd really like the ones that give you 3,000 XP because that's a load off your shoulders. So that's really good. Anyway, yeah, between stages you're allowed to save. Really convenient. Definitely overriding this because don't need it anymore. Hell yeah. Okay, next stage. But yeah, in general, I don't feel like the anime is nearly as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Like, oh no, it's not as good as the manga. Yeah, I mean, how the fuck do you match? Hang on. Look me in the eyes. How the fuck do you expect to match Kentaro Miura's manga? Really? Okay, so next up, what? Did my controller disconnect or something? Is the game mad that I'm making a point? Oh right, I'm on here. I'm dumb. Okay. Excuse me. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Nah, we're good. Whew. Oh right. The soundtrack for this game is partly by the guy who did the '97 anime. Kinda. He did the opening, obviously, with the very like Irish music, and he did something else, or like a remix of some part. But the rest of the soundtrack of this game is generally new renditions. I'm not a huge fan of this game's soundtrack. It's a little too downplayed sometimes. There's some bangers sometimes, but for the most part, it's kind of like this, where it's very like dry and just very like atmosphere. What you mean is okay, but I don't know. I don't really associate Berserk with all of, you know, like the grunge and ambiance. Sorry, what? I didn't actually catch that. Actually, how far back can you go? You can't go far back whatsoever. Okay. Oh, I get it. Oh. So when you start, sorry. When you do a new game, the map is normally completely blacked out until you go exploring more of it, as in grayed out. I'm only seeing everything because this is a new game plus for me, but if this is your first time through, this is okay. This is an okay guide for you wanting to catch up, I think. Anyway, oh yeah. Generally speaking, when you get to these new areas, small enemies or one shots, big enemies take a couple of hits, but do like 100, give like 100 XP, which is really good. Save your one shots for them, like your. Oh hello. Well, perfect time to illustrate this. If you don't have either your bombs or your arm cannon, and you need to bypass the trees, go slice the branches off. They will not be able to beat you back if that's the case. However, I'm not playing that game. Fuck that. Oh, wait, I should have leveled up. God damn it. There'll be chances later. Fuck it. Okay, yeah. I'm only going to stop and start mauling enemies like when new ones present themselves. For the most part, I'm going to try to keep things moving because the snowmen are very interesting. But yeah, no, these things actually were just straight up in the manga in one of the chapters. Yeah, pretty soon after, Guts departed with Casca to go to Elfhelm. But yeah, now we are actually truly on our way to Elfhelm, and I'm sad that Godo has no presence in this game whatsoever. Damn. Hello. Fuck off. I would actually like to mention that a cool thing the 97 anime actually did do is it showcased Guts in a 2-year time skip from when he left the Banana Hawk. What was it, 2 years or 1 year? I feel like it was no, it was 1 year. Guts would not, Griffith would not live 2 years. It shows Guts in that intervening time, and there's some cool stuff he did. One of which, of course, is visiting Godo for the first time. And a little bit of training he did. And walking around in general. Pretty cool stuff. Honestly, like, if you watch the trilogy, watch the 97 anime. It is a really, really good time and gives you a lot of what's not covered. Like the little assassination attempts on Griffith while he's sending through the ranks and stuff like that. So, you guys like metaphors? There's so much to unpack here. Oh, yeah, since this is a published game, we can't get away with showing too terribly much, so you won't see, like, her ripped apart, but, yeah. Well, I guess since everyone's I assume that a portion of you are familiar with the source material, so I can start talking over this. This is what's colloquially called the Beast of Darkness within Guts. Oh boy. Doesn't mention that in the Eclipse, so that's probably for the best. Fucking Incubi. Oh, don't we show the cute little one that's on top of a Puck? I think we do. He says that as he nearly like tears her apart, like when he has to subdue her after she wanders off once. Yeah, that's a spicy meatball right there. Right. So where do I even begin with that? So if you were to watch someone like, what was the YouTube names again? Zagod Hands or Real Life Ryan, those guys do some pretty good Berserk analysis videos, I feel. If you want to learn more about the deep intricacies of Berserk's story, go follow them. They post some pretty good stuff. What you just saw is essentially, it is colloquially called, oh hey, Incubi in here now, it's nice. They're called the Beast of, it's called the Beast of Darkness. So what, it's not a real thing. It's essentially like, since Guts has been mired in hatred and self-destruction for 2 years following the Eclipse on a never-ending rampaging hunt for the God Hand in order to confront, you know, Griffith the Course, as well as sort of running away from what happened to Casca. Yes, it's a real thing. Goto directly, like, fucks with him about it. Not really fucks with him, just brings it to his face and doesn't hide anything. Goto's a great character, by the way. He's amazing. Absolutely. So, it's kind of like, it's almost like a split personality now, where there's that obvious, like, that internal conflict now with Guts, where he just wants to just relish more into violence. Actually, Real Life Ryan did a great analogy with it, was sharing an old Native American tale. Inside you there are two wolves. One is hatred, one is and violence, one is the good and just inside of you. Which one will win? Whichever one you decide to feed. So it's essentially like that. By the way, Real Life Ryan, when he's not discussing weird, weird sex things, he does pretty good stuff. Yeah, okay. So, what do I even follow with that? Essentially, like, the Beast of Darkness is like the malice personified within Guts, and it's a really good analogy for, like, the darkness he's just been steeped himself in. If you read anything for Guts for the Black Swordsman arc, he is such a different character from, like, not even like the conviction arc. He openly, like, advocates for, like, some kid to kill himself so they can't deal with real life. He's a spiteful dude. Even if he does still care deep down, he's just on a self-destructive path of just, like, self-hate. So that's what I really like about, yeah, sorry. This is why it's hard to, like, make a 100% claim for the Golden Age arc by itself to be the best arc, because it's the longest and it covers a lot of subject matter, but every single arc covers, like, really intricate subject matter. So, like, you can't really make a claim for one over the other, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, the Beast of Darkness is something that is a very recurring plot point that will follow us for a while, as in follow Guts for a while, and he never really gets rid of it. He more just has to accept to live with it more than anything else, and suppress it as much as he can. Because it's essentially him. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a little what-up thing. Just introducing more stuff. Yeah, just zombie corpses now possessed by spirits. Excuse me. Indigestion's fun. Alright. Yeah, essentially the restless spirits that are attracted by the brand are now just possessing things. Oh yeah, the first mandatory sequence we have to go through. It's not too hard. These things, once again, die pretty quickly. The only difference here, the only thing that separates them really is the fact that they walk faster sometimes. That's about it. Let's see. If I'm able to get the brand up and running, I should be able to start one-shotting some of these. Yeah. But yeah, no, Guts is God. By back before I watched like the trilogy arc, the trilogy movies, I was always skeptical about like why does everyone keep saying Guts, this like tall, dark, quiet man, is like one of the best written manga characters ever. And now that I've seen everything, essentially, yeah, it kind of really fits into place. This guy's gone through some shit, and you see him. Sorry, itch my face. You see him naturally evolve, and I'm like, God damn, like, it's like the closest to being inside of someone's head without them always internally monologuing. If I can be completely honest, seeing what Guts goes through is like exactly what I wish Sasuke and Naruto went through, because like. The problem with Sasuke is there's never any internal monologue, and you don't end up feeling anything for him really as a result. Like there's no sympathy when he's doing bad shit, so it's a bit of a bad thing, really. Yeah, I guess that's my sermon on that. Yeah, these guys take a little bit of hits. I'm still applying pretty good hits onto them. No matter how slow the Dragon Slayer is, and it can be pretty slow when you start the game off, you still do immense like you do immense hit stun to enemies. So that's always really good. That's always something I was concerned about when I was like doing boss battles. I'm like, how much is the Dragon Slayer going to really slow me down? It doesn't really. You have just enough control over yourself that like it doesn't really impede you too much. It's not like if you start doing dumb bullshit. But yeah, look at this. I'm still climbing the numbers. I do like this little mini game actually. This is really fun. 30 kills. But yeah, no, it's obviously also very clear this game came out after Devil May Cry because, you know, Berserk is essentially double trigger. R1 is essentially lock on with the strafe. Ah, they're only 39. Okay, 3-0. Nailed it. I'm certain that was like 300 plus or something for all that hits.